Beneath the soil of a quiet forest, a tiny organism is rewriting the laws of physics. Did you know there is a fantastic fungus that can actually freeze water? Or that raccoons solve complex puzzles just for the fun of it? Today, I'm going to tell you about the most shocking stories from the wild world. From nocturnal ants to all-female fish, this is fresh science, and things are about to get wild. 1. Nature's secret ice maker. Deep in the soil, a silent master of the elements is hiding. It is a fungus called Fusarium. In fact, scientists have discovered that this organism carries a secret weapon, ice-nucleating proteins. Usually, extremely pure water needs to drop to -40°C to freeze. But these special proteins act like a biological template, forcing water molecules to snap into a perfect ice crystal at just -2°C. So, why does a fungus need this power? To survive. By freezing and bursting plant cells, the fungus unlocks a feast of nutrients hidden inside. But the real magic happens in the sky. When these fungi travel into the clouds with the wind, they become the primary triggers for rain and snow. To prove how powerful they are, consider our own technology. Humans use silver iodide for cloud seeding, but it usually requires temperatures below -10°C to work. These tiny mushrooms, however, are far more efficient, triggering rain in much warmer clouds. This means nature has already built a more advanced rain bomb than humans ever could. Understanding this biological weather control is the key to protecting our crops from frost and building better climate models for our future. Did you ever imagine that a microscopic mushroom could be the secret architect of our weather? 2. The secret architecture of the feline flip. Everyone knows that cats almost always land on their feet. You probably think it's because they're just incredibly flexible. In fact, that's not the whole story. Scientists at Yamaguchi University have finally cracked the anatomical code behind the writing reflex. Usually, we imagine a cat's spine as a single, fluid piece of rubber. But it turns out their spine is a sophisticated machine with two very different zones. To prove this, researchers focused on the thoracic spine. This is the upper part of the back. They discovered it's actually 3 times more mobile and 3 times less stiff than the lower back. This structural gap allows the cat to perform a sequential rotation. Instead of turning all at once, the flexible front half twists first. Then, about 70 to 90 milliseconds later, the stiffer back half follows. It's like the cat is made of 2 separate parts that work together to cheat the laws of physics. For decades, the falling cat problem was just a theoretical puzzle for physicists. But now, this biological engineering is inspiring a new generation of drones and robots that can self-correct in mid-air. Knowing this, do you look at your cat as a pet or a high-tech masterpiece of evolution? 3. The little engineers of the wild. Meet the raccoon, nature's most curious engineer. We often call them masked thieves, but a new study proves they're actually addicted to challenges. In fact, researchers designed complex mechanical puzzle boxes to test their intelligence. Usually, animals only work if there is a food reward involved. But here's the shocking part. Even after their bellies were completely full, the raccoons stayed for hours. They kept twisting locks, sliding bolts, and solving gears just for the fun of it. To prove this, scientists realized that for a raccoon, the act of solving a puzzle is its own reward. This is what we call intrinsic motivation. It's the same neurological spark we feel when solving a Sudoku or a crossword puzzle. This natural passion for complexity is exactly why they're so good at surviving in our modern cities. They aren't just breaking into your trash cans for food, they're looking for a mental thrill. Next time you see one, remember, you aren't just looking at a scavenger, you are looking at a master problem solver at work. Be honest, if you had a puzzle box and no reward, would you have the same patience as a raccoon? 4. The genetic copy-paste master. Imagine a world without males.
For most species, this would be an evolutionary death sentence, but for the Amazon molly, it's just business as usual. In fact, this all-female species has been cloning itself for over 100,000 years. That's nearly 500,000 generations without a single male. Usually, asexual species are doomed to go extinct. To prove this, scientists point to Muller's ratchet. This is a process where harmful genetic mistakes pile up over time, eventually causing the species to collapse. But according to a new study in Nature, the Amazon molly has a secret trick. It uses something called gene conversion. Think of it as a biological copy-paste tool. When a harmful mutation appears in its genome, the fish simply copies a healthy gene from its other chromosome and pastes it over the broken one. This way, they clean their genetic pool without ever needing a partner. This discovery challenges our entire understanding of evolution. It shows that sometimes nature finds a way to bypass the need for sex entirely. Today, the Amazon molly is proving that you don't always need two to tango. Sometimes you just need a better Control-C, Control-V button.
5. The underwater queen. We all know that bees are masters of the air, but it turns out they are also secret survival artists under the water. In fact, scientists have discovered that hibernating queen common eastern bumblebees possess an unbelievable superpower. They can survive being completely submerged in water for up to an entire week. Usually, a flood would be a death sentence for insects sleeping underground, but according to a new study in Biology Letters, these queens can enter a deep pause mode. To prove this, researchers kept hibernating queens underwater in a lab. Surprisingly, when they were pulled out days later, they woke up as if nothing had happened. Their metabolism drops so low during diapause that they can endure extreme oxygen deprivation. This discovery explains why bee populations can bounce back so quickly, even after devastating winter floods caused by climate change. It shows that the primary guardians of our food supply are much tougher than we ever imagined. Today, the queen bee is proving that nature's resilience truly has no limits, even at the bottom of a pool. 6. The moon-walking mathematicians. Imagine navigating a vast pitch-black desert with no GPS and only the faint glow of the moon. For certain nocturnal ants, this isn't a challenge, it is their daily routine. In fact, scientists have discovered that these tiny hunters possess a sophisticated lunar compass inside their microscopic brains. Usually, we think of ants following simple chemical trails on the ground, but according to a new study in Current Biology, these ants look to the sky. They don't just see the moonlight, they understand its polarization and its exact angle in the sky. To prove this, researchers tracked their movements and found that they use a method called path integration. This means the ant vectorially calculates every single step and every turn it takes based on the moon's position. Even if they wander through a chaotic, winding path to find food, they can turn around and walk back to their nest in a perfectly straight line. This biological software allows them to compensate for the moon's movement over time, showing a mathematical capacity that rivals our most advanced autonomous drones. Today, the nocturnal ant is proving that you don't need a massive brain to be a master of geometry. You just need to know how to read the light of the stars. Next time you see an ant, remember, it might be solving a geometry problem you'd need a calculator for. Does that change how you see these tiny hunters? 7. The wild architects of the earth. Sometimes, to save nature, we don't need more technology. We just need to bring back its original engineers. A massive new study across Europe has confirmed that free-roaming, free-range wild horses and cattle are the secret to a resilient planet. Usually, we think of grazing as just eating grass, but according to the latest research in ecological applications, these large mammals do so much more.
By trampling the ground, spreading nutrients, and grazing at different heights, they create what scientists call a mosaic habitat. Instead of a uniform forest or a simple grassland, they build a complex landscape of open spaces, thick shrubs, and dense vegetation all mixed together. To prove why this matters, look at the climate. This diverse plant structure acts as a natural fire break, making it much harder for massive wildfires to spread. It also helps the Earth hold more water during droughts, and surprisingly, it even increases the Earth's capacity to store carbon. These wild architects are opening up new homes for endangered birds, insects, and plants that are now returning on their own. Today, the wild horse is proving that the best defense against the climate crisis is a healthy dose of biodiversity led by nature's own landscape designers. These were the major breakthroughs in nature and wildlife for this week. Which of these wild discoveries was your favorite? Tell us what you think in the comments below. Fresh Science is here to bring you the most exciting breakthroughs from the edge of discovery. If you want to stay ahead of the latest news in science, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our community. You can find all the scientific sources used for this video in the description below. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep learning. Stay curious and stay fresh.